Hi.
Hello, Dato.
Hi, how are you, man?
Great. Good. Very good. Just ended another virtual session just now.
All right.
Uh, so welcome everyone. Thank you very much for joining this session today. This is the fifth virtual industry chat that we have here, brought to you by UOW Malaysia KDU School of Business here. So today we are very grateful to have a very special guest to share with all of you on a very unique topic as well for this SME
Right.
survival kit on metaphysics power. So
All
this
right.
is nothing more than Dato Joey Yap. Okay, is a very expert in metaphysics field, whether it's in Malaysia or globally as well. So I guess all of us have a blessing here today to listen to him on his thoughts on some survival kits for everyone here. So thank you very much for joining the session today. And if you have any question, you can just list down your question in the comment box below, and we will get Dato to answer to your questions as much as we can. Okay. So just to give everyone some background of this particular topic, why are we talking about metaphysical in a business realm specifically, right? I guess we need to really know that we are living in the physical world where you use your five senses to really understand what is going on. But is that the real reality that we are looking at, or is this the real situation that we really understand? So that's why, especially for business field, we know the current situation of economic downturn and the COVID-19 pandemic itself has caused a lot of negative impact, whether it's mentally or physically among the SME owners. So that's why we thought that maybe we should look into certain things that we never thought before all this while. So that's why we brought in this topic on metaphysical itself. So it's really great to have Dato here to share with all of us today. Thank you very much, Dato, for
Thank you.
joining us
Thank you.
today.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Yes. You want to say hello to everyone first, Dato?
Right. Yes. Hello, everyone. This is a pleasure for me to join you guys for the first time. And yeah, I'll be happy to, shed some light from the metaphysics perspective, as
Right.
Brian has mentioned. I'll try and answer as many questions as possible.
Okay, great.
Right.
So Dato, you know the current COVID-19 situation, right? Last
Right.
Sunday actually did a session on faith and mindset.
Right.
So we have a different perspective again to look at the situation. So then from
Okay.
the faith perspective, then we question whether is this a testing from the creator to the people now, right? Whether can you
Right.
survive through difficult time? What about from a metaphysical perspective? How do we see this condition now?
Okay, I think the metaphysics is just another term for science of energy. Okay, it's just basically
Right.
trying to understand how energy works and how nature works by itself. Okay, so a lot of times people think that that this world is I think governed by certain rules and all that, but I think nature itself has its own way of
Mm.
you know running itself, right? So if you look at the metaphysics perspective, right, the whole world now is actually cleaner, all right, and
Okay.
we are looking towards family time. There's a lot of positive out of this. I know it is killing a lot of people. Of course, I'm very sad that it's happening, but nature is people like to look at that. Oh, the nature itself has to be kind and compassionate, but maybe it just doesn't care. It's just the way it is. It's balancing itself. Okay, it's
Yeah.
neutral. Look at the whole universe as a whole. The entire universe as a whole right now. Uh, it's just operating regardless of how we assume it to be. Okay, so a lot of us think that the mother nature has to be kind and all that. That's what our aspirations are. We aspire
Right.
for that. But whether mother
Right.
nature behaves like that is another different thing. People say, oh, it's got to be fair. I did all this good stuff. I got to have good karma. But karma is nothing more than actions. It's just our
Yep.
actions, right? So right now is how the universe wants to operate and how it will operate regardless of how we think it is. We might have a preconceived idea of how things should be, but really the universe does operate by itself. It's the law of yin and yang. Okay, in some ways
Okay.
it will operate regardless of how we think. All right, so we think that it should be nice and calm and we should do this, we should or we shouldn't. This is like preconceived ideas. It's like, you know, recently there's a thing going on, a series going on in Netflix. I don't know if you guys are watching. It's called The Last Dance.
Oh,
If you
yes.
guys are watching Last Day, yeah. So Michael Jordan on episode 5 or 6 is looking at, you know, he's saying this, right? People have a preconceived idea of how he should be and shouldn't be, right? But he's just,
Okay.
you know, how he lives his life. People just assume that he's going to be the role model and look up to him, but he doesn't. He didn't ask for that, right? He just does
Okay.
the thing he does, right? So right now we're looking at Mother Nature or metaphysics perspective. Oh, it should have this. There must be this. You know, is it the killing? Is this the universe trying to punish us and all that? No, it's just the way it's operating, right?
Right.
And in time, this cycle will also change, right? We have up cycles
Okay.
and we have so-called down cycles. Okay.
Okay. I guess, Dato, you know, when situation like this is so negative, right? The first thing that you brought up just now was, you know, the first thing is so positive that as you are talking about, the nature has healed itself somehow or rather. Yeah. So we are seeing photos of rivers is getting cleaner. You know, even the Ganges River in India is so clean now. Never ever people thought that it can be so clean for that while. So can we expect a better chi, a better you know,
No, there shouldn't
more
be any
positive
expectation.
thing?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
If we have a
Okay.
preconceived expectation, that's when we get disappointment. Okay.
Right.
So right, the way how the universe wants to fix itself is our own perspective. We would like to see the positive. If we choose to see the positive, then you know
Right.
we feel better ourselves. We can also look at this negatively. Like a lot of people stuck in MCOs, like, oh, you know, I'm stuck at home. You know, this is not good. I should be going out doing this. I should be doing that. But that's how the people will become, you know, unhappy because how we choose to see is within us. So our thoughts,
Right.
our emotions, our body, our energy, we own that. So we should decide how we should be feeling, right? But then we have a
Okay.
preconceived idea of how, oh, this nature itself, it should be this, it should be better. That's when a disappointment comes.
Right. Right. So especially when you have more higher expectation, the you know,
Yeah.
higher chance for you to get disappointed, right?
Correct, because we
Okay.
human beings are that we have a preconceived idea of how this world or the higher power or Mother Nature should be. But you know, that's what we conceive because we aspire for that, right? Now we aspire love, so Mother Nature must be loving, right? Or we
Right.
aspire to be a caring, so that means Mother Nature must be caring. But how you know? You spoke to her before? Never, right now, right? So we assume it is, right now. Oh, because we read it somewhere. Well, that's a
True.
preconceived idea, right? That's what I mean by
Right.
in metaphysics, it's just yin and yang. It's
I
all
see.
about that balance, right? But the problem is when we start to aspire that it must be like that, right? For example, I ask you, how does heaven look like?
Right.
The first imagination, oh, my big castle lah, big throne lah, right? Many palaces. If you are follow the Chinese one, then you must see all the dragons lah, right? Depends on what your culture is lah, right? Now, but the thing is, that's also a preconceived idea. Someone
Right.
told you it looks like that, right? But then again, our expectation. So the thing is this, right? How you know this is not heaven? How we know this? We are not already there, right? Now, and that we have to decide our destiny. So the whole idea of metaphysics is not predicting the future. It's more like trying to create the future that we want or we desire. And so if we could try and get, you see the creation process or Mother Nature itself or universe itself, the whole creation process has already created us. It's a past tense. We are here. So we have all these talents and all whatever is inside us. Our job is to take whatever is created and expand upon it and design the life that we want. Okay? So 50% is external, the other 50% is internal. So the internal governs our body, right? If our body is going to not cooperate with us, we're going to get sick, we'll get fat. We breathe also can get fat one, you know, yeah? So if our body cooperates with us, it wants to work with us, we heal faster, we feel better, right? We're more energetic, right? If our emotions work with us, we don't feel jealousy, we don't feel so painful, we don't feel lethargic, we control how we want to feel, right? If our mind is the heaven luck, this is basically what I mean. Metaphysics, heaven luck basically means the mind. If our thoughts are more pure and we are more in control of it, right? We have less issues of, oh, you know, this is not good. This pandemic is gotta have a meaning. Mother Nature is punishing us. That's just what we want to choose to think. But really, is it how it's supposed to be? No, it's neutral. It's neutral, right?
Okay. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us this session today, on Virtual Industry Chat. Today, I have a very pleasure to have Dr. Joey Yap, a very expert in the metaphysics field, today to share his thought with all of you here in regards of our SME Survival Kit series here. So if you have any question, please list down your question in the comment box below, and we will address to it as much as we can. So, Doctor, we have a question here from Kevin Lam. Will COVID-19 change and prediction for this year direction in metaphysics perspective?
Well, the end result of what we could see, first of all, we cannot predict anything. We can only see trends. Okay.
Okay.
Just like any economist will see a trend, in metaphysics we see energy trends. Let's just make it very clear here. But you see, again, it's a preconceived idea. They expect that, oh, you metaphysics, right? You do feng shui, you must predict the future. No, I've said it 1,000 times that we only can see energy trends. It's up to us to interpret the trend. Okay. So I know people have a preconceived idea of how it must be, but it's not like that. It's just like how economists will look at, the financial, the trading, the market, and then they try and ascertain how people feel about it, how's the market performing. Okay, so what we see in the trend of the energy is that 2020 has deep financial problems. So back in, even 2 years before, what we were trying to talk to our students and all our, clients, and in my public events, those who have been to my public events have heard that. We said that you got to have at least 6 months worth of all expenses in cash. You got to have that cash reserves for 6 months ready. I don't know if you remember that. I said that also on, it was reported on The Age. And you got to have that, you got to prepare for that. And you got to clear up all your debts. And you got to create the networks way before the start of the year. Okay, now we only can see this, but we cannot see the cause of it. Because Mother Nature or nature itself has its own way of inducing it. Okay, so I think the Western side, they have a term for it called the black swan. So we know something trigger this outcome, but we don't know that something is what. But this is the outcome. So we are prepared for the outcome itself. So if we had that 6 months, if we had the network, that means like if you want to find a new job, you gotta find while we still have a job, right now. It cannot be you now no job, they're not gonna find a job, and it'll be too late right now. So so that was not, and also to clear up as much debt as possible, because then it ease up cash flow. Now, had we done something like that, 2020 would be a time where you can now benefit from the opportunities that are presented, because now we have the cash to actually purchase a lot of assets that are not right now, valued at a much lower price because of fear, right? So that's how we do it. Okay, so we can see this. And we can see this fear, because fear is an energy, that will last throughout all the way to 2021. Okay. So we can only guess that it could be because of people's fear of this pandemic. Because it had pandemic already took place, right now. But we can see this energy pattern, because fear and courage is energy, right? If someone has very strong energy, we call it chi flow. Normally fear will be lower. When someone has low energy, then fear will be higher. When fear is higher, people make mistakes, people are scared. But it translates into, in the market, it's like that, because this is a business talk, right? So in business, in markets, it's driven by 2 factors, greed and fear, right? When everything is nice and dandy, people become greedy, stock markets go up, right? When people are fearful, stock market go down. As simple as that, right? So what happens now, we could see the fear factor, which is energy formed by the wing, lasting until 2021. And another one coming in December. Yeah. That's all we can see.
So be prepared.
Right. So we could see the fear factor is that,
So well, we talk about this flow, right? This fear flow, or the energy flow, right? Is there a difference in different industries?
Yeah, because different industries follow different types of energy, right? So and it's very hard to go and classify the global entire global industry in just to 5 categories. We also have a look at nature and mixture. For example, right, those days we would just look at anything technology to be fire, but nowadays everything must be technology. Okay, so it cannot just everything must be technology. I mean, I cannot imagine that if I didn't incorporate technology into my business and I was just doing my same old as before, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to actually allow my business to survive, right? Let alone thrive, because we have moved on to this direction of tech, Started in 2001, and I've reinforced 70% of my business in online 4 years ago. So that helped. And I've been telling a lot of people about that because we can see the big picture, yeah? The big picture of 2023 onwards is fire.
Okay.
So we only can see that, So the people expect that, you gotta exactly pinpoint, it's gotta be exactly COVID-19, you gotta prepare. It's hard to see, right? Scientists also cannot see.
Yeah.
But we can see the effect of it. We can see the effect of it, like, this is the outcome. So the actual cause, we're not too sure, but let's prepare for the eventual outcome.
Right. Dato', I just out of my own curiosity, because I'm in education line, right? So education is supposed to be wood, right? Isn't it?
Education is supposed to be wood, but if you add tech to it, then it will be wood and fire. So
isn't it
generally,
bad? Because the fire burns the wood, right?
This education technology is the new thing right now. And education technology will be in the next 20 years, the biggest, one of the biggest aspects that we can expect. And of course, if we are there, I think, Malaysia still have a lot of room to expand now, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So if you are at the forefront of this game, you'll be one of the winners now.
Okay. Great. Now, instead of industries, what about location? Like, will the energy flow be different, like Malaysia compared to Europe, compared to US? Will there be a difference in that sense?
I think if we want to pinpoint down to countries, yes. Well, we see Earth of Europe is based on Earth elements. It's slightly less favorable this year because it's stagnation here, right? So we look at that in general, yes. Okay. So if you look at down south, Australia and New Zealand is like almost zero now, right? So that is one of the good aspects of it. I think right now, if you're looking for the economy itself, we should look at tech in general.
Okay.
Even if you're in Europe, right? Even if you're in Europe, or especially in the States where things are limited right now, right? You can't move about and all that. If we knew this, if we can transit or pivot to using tech as part of or to help with what we are doing right now, I think we can still thrive.
I see.
This is what at the end of the day you want to be able to thrive, not just say what industries should I be doing, right? So if you really say no, I want to invest in it, then you must look at what type of we know that fire element is the key, right? Now, so in the next 20 years or so. So if that's the case, then we should ask ourselves what type of digital platform that we can be part of in the next 20 years.
Okay.
Right? So that is one of the reasons. But I tell you, we tell people so they won't do one. Most people are okay. After nothing happened.
Nothing happened, right? And they just complain, right?
They probably won't complain and say, they want to know, right? They want to know, then don't do nothing. Like, I know me and my team has been telling everyone you gotta have 6 months worth of cash, 6 months worth of cash. Nothing happened. Not all of them did it. So some of them did it, and then some will say, "Oh, you never tell me." We put it on newspaper, right? So
people don't read, right? In general,
they
most
read
of them
it, but it's just that I think people have a different I think intensity or understanding of it. Because for some people it's not important, right? For some people just want to hear it. It's like they ask, how's the weather today? You don't really need to know the answer. You just ask the name.
Yep. That's right. Doctor, we have another question for Vanessa here. How do we know anything? Don't we aspire to inspire or vice versa?
We aspire to inspire some people. Some people just want to live ordinary life, right? Not like don't kacau me, don't disturb me, right? It depends on what what is your definition of a happy life would be. What is pleasant for you? Okay, so
which can be very individual, right?
It's individual because I don't think generally everyone is into that success framework that they need to make a huge amount of money and all that. Not everyone is like that. In my field, at least I meet people like that. Right? There are a lot of people who want to do that, but then there's also a bunch who it's like that. There's a spectrum, you gotta see the spectrum. On one spectrum, it's like let's be uber successful, make huge sums of money, and then on the other side is the artist, the one who wants to make an impact, who's not so much about the money, it's more about the heart. Okay, so one
Right.
side is the heart, one side is the money. All right. So you know, if you're too much following the heart, right, then you're someone who's an artist who wants to make an impact in the world. You want to be top one of your message. You want to live the quality life and all that, and you don't want to talk about money. All right. So a lot of these artists fail because there's too much focus on the art, too much heart, and no focus on business. Whereas that those who only
Right.
focus on business, it's missing heart. Right? It's all about the profit. It's all about profit, you know. So this is the case, right? So the question is, how do we find a balance in between? Okay. So your aspirations could be either direction one, you know, right? So when I see myself as an artist that learn how to do the business side, right? Because I realized that I cannot make an impact without business skills and tools. So I teach myself by finding the right, you know, mentors and right people in my life to teach me how to run a successful business and grow the business, because my purpose is to take my art to impact the world. Okay.
Right.
So because I like that. Now I realize that without money, no dreams come true. Okay. But when I
true.
first started, I just love this art. I love it so much that I just do this for free. Okay, so this is what I do all this while. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I have to pay salary, or I got to pay rental. You know, I have to pay so many things. Or how you have to learn how to, you have to learn how to do.
That's where the reality comes in, right?
The reality comes in. People think that, oh, you can't just do this for free. I would love to do it for free like this. I'm just doing this talk right now. I'm just spending an hour or so with you guys. It's for free, right? I love doing this. The thing is, unfortunately, I still need to pay, you know, the rentals and pay staff. You know, we've got so many hundreds of people working for us. Right, you know, just one event we do, the LED screens, the sound system, the entire, it's like a concert. It's almost $1 million just to run an event. So it's a lot of things that 50 people working behind the scenes, making sure that I'm looking all right on stage. So people don't see that, right?
That's true. That's true. So guys, after listening this session, please go and look for Dr. Joey Yap's some books that he has 180 over books, right? You have authored.
Right. 182 books.
So right. So you guys can actually grab some of these books. I think you have some ebooks as well, right?
Yeah, nowadays it's ebooks. People don't really want to buy physical books anymore.
The physical books, right? Yeah. So we have another question here from Bole Lakot. So of course, we know that all of us are individual, right? But he's actually asking any suggestions on how we can maintain good chi energy. Yeah, despite that all of us are individual.
Actually, it's very simple. Yeah, it's very simple. First of all, there's external and internal. External, that's how you adjust your space, because now you know that MCO, right? We are living in a house. If the house is not harmonious, we look at our family members also, we feel like punching them in the face, you know. So, right. But if the house is good energy, at least everything is vibrationally nice, people work very nice, so that's external. But then there's the internal side, the internal energy. So how do you manage that? It's very simple, right? If you don't know anything about metaphysics, just ask yourself, do you feel pleasant right now? Okay. So if you feel pleasant internally, if your emotions are pleasant right now, it's like it's feeling quite okay, generally you have good energy. And if it is overly pleasant, you'll be ecstatic, you'll be happy, you'll be joyous, right? If your energy-wise, emotion-wise is not pleasant, you'll be feeling miserable, unhappy, jealous. That's what you should be doing, okay? So you want to be able to look internally to see whether you feel pleasant or not. That's one of the ways to track whether your energy is good, okay? So if your internal world is pleasant, your mind is pleasant, you will see that 2020, despite the lockdown, or that you'll find that you'll be very productive. You use this time back. You've been wishing that weekends are longer. You've been wishing for weekends are longer. Your wish came true, you know. So now what happened? Nothing happened, right? So a lot of people like, okay, came true, now we're not doing much, you know. So if your mind is pleasant, you would have found the time, which is right now, to actually feed knowledge, you know, learn something new, master a new skill, right? Turn one of our skill set into a side gig, you know, a side gig or secondary income. I always say that many times. People always want to make more money and they hope their bosses will just give it to them. I don't think the bosses, even at the best of bosses right now, would be able to do that. Majority of them are not in essential fields, right? So, but that's nothing that stops you from acquiring a skill set that could generate a second stream of income. I call it side gigs. you know, in today's world, it is the gig economy, right? Everyone is going to do something. You can sell your services online. And this is, I really like the fact that this MCO has given a lot of people a taste of how it feels like to work from home. You know, I work from home for a long time. I write my books from home, do a lot of planning from my home. All my big courses and events are written from my home office. So I'm used to working from home. And I think a lot of freelancers or people who have a side gig or special skills, they work from home. And the future, the millennials and the generation Z, they all would like to have some form of freedom and yet be able to, you know, market their services to other people. So this will be a perfect time to do that. And how does it start? It starts by, you know, the pleasant state of our mind. That's what we call energy. Okay, so if your mind is not pleasant, that means tak tenteram lah, you know, it's like you don't feel, you sleep also don't sleep very well. You keep thinking, there's something I must be doing, but I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do. If you have that inner question, that is a sign of bad energy. Okay, so to fix it is awareness. Aware of the energy flow, what caused it, because we can't fix a pain if we don't know the cause of that pain. It takes a bit of study, of course. It's not like that, then you know where it is. You know? It's not like, oh, there's a map, I tell you exactly where it is. It takes a bit of exploration, you know. It's like even COVID-19, you need to do a test, man. The test comes back in 2-3 days, you know. So that testing of your own energy, where is it stuck, requires us to go inwards. It's an inward journey. It's not that long, but it requires some of us to go inwards to, you know, uncover that. Once you're aware, it gives it a chance to fix it.
Right. So it's really about self-awareness, right? Or you know who you are and what is your thought, or what is your mind thinking, which controlling what your action is, right?
That whole thing is metaphysics. That whole thing is metaphysics, okay? So people think that metaphysics is some magic formulas. You fix your house and you just become rich. We become wealthier because our inner world is good. If our inner world is a mess, you cannot manifest reality.
Okay. So let's put it in a more practical and reality-based, right? So, for example, now we know a lot of SME owners are having cash flow problem. Yeah, that's why you will see a lot of news has been coming up saying that they're closing down or shutting down their businesses and unable to pay the staff, or firing staff and things like that. When someone has such a negative mentality in them, of course we can't blame them, right? Because they are facing actual situation like that because they're not prepared for it, right? So how any way that they can do really to make them really have that self-awareness thing to come up? Because if you just talk to them like that, they can't. They just cannot accept it, right?
I totally understand how they feel and the pain that they're going through. Okay, I understand that. Okay, but at the same time, I also tell them something that they may not like to hear. Okay, so is this? I'll ask them a question like that, right? Do you regard yourself as an entrepreneur? Well, a lot of them will say yes, because otherwise they wouldn't have started the business in the first place.
Right.
If you're an entrepreneur, then you must understand that you must not be attached to the business. Some businesses at this stage, which you cannot transit to online, you cannot change at this point unless a miracle change in terms of how the pandemic works right now. You should close it and live to fight another day. Okay. You are the entrepreneur. You can always recreate the business. You understand what I mean? It doesn't make sense to sink and die. Sometimes if it costs money to sell, stop selling. It's as simple as that. Okay. I know it's like, wow, it's so painful, or you tell people don't do, right? No, it's about reality, right? I'm not saying all, just some businesses, it costs you money to do business. If it costs you money to do business, that means prior to the crisis, you have not fixed your business in such a way that there was comfortable enough margin, and that you have covered various platforms to enable you to weather through different types of crisis. Okay? So had we done that, some businesses, for example, have done that really, really well, right? So they have online, they have offline, they have digital products, right? Some restaurants are doing well until now because they have transited to digital ordering. They are able to pre-sell. They're able to bring their experience to the customers. So they have done all that prior to this. Okay. So I know some have not. So, but you got to understand, if you see yourself as a true entrepreneur, then live to fight another day. It's okay to let go. okay? Because you let go now, you don't sink with the ship first. You learn from this and you reboot, okay? Learn from this and reboot. This is so important, because if you hang on to a sinking, you know, baby, sinking idea, and you're just bleeding, you're selling your car, you're selling your stuff, to do what, right? The whole thing is going to bring you down, and then you're not able to be of service to other people, okay? So this is the first thing I would tell them, okay? Now, if the business itself is salvageable, all right, that means right now you act fast enough and you can pivot to digital form, right?
Right.
If you can do that, you understand that, then there are a few things that you can do, okay? There are a few things you can do. Number one, you got to understand that cash flow is the key, okay? Cash flow is the bloodline to the entire business. So I would look at whatever you have in the business you can sell, you sell first. Okay? Take cash first, right now. Because a lot of times you don't need a lot of those stuff, a lot of old furniture and old whatever style, right? You don't need half of those stuff, okay? You can get rid of that and get some cash out first, all right? And you may think, yeah, but the sales are low. The sales are low everywhere, but there must be a certain type of product. You got to convert your product from a vitamin into a Panadol, okay? Malaysia eat Panadol, right? Now, there's a difference. Vitamin is people only eat when things are all right, but they don't really need it, okay? But if you're a Panadol business, you solve a pain, they will buy the Panadol, regardless of whatever situation. So if your business is not a Panadol business, or the nature of your work is not a Panadol business, it's up to you to find out how you can convert it into a Panadol business, not a vitamin business, okay? This is very, very important to be able to think, all right? So as an entrepreneur, you're the business entrepreneur, you're the business owner, you have to decide. Someone else can't do that for you. That's the thing, right? So the third thing you need to do is look at wastages. In your business, some people are assets, okay? Some people are people you like, but they are not assets.
Okay.
This is not the time to just keep the people you like. You gotta keep the people who are competent. So if you're on this plane, you have to press the eject button and bounce them out. Okay.
I see.
Now you may say, wow, this is very harsh, right? Well, do you want to survive or not? Okay. If you want to survive, you got to understand that every business got 3 layers: fat, muscles, and bones. Okay. So fat, muscle, and bone. You got to cut the fat. There are some people in the business that you like them to be there. For example, wife, all right? She shouldn't do anything much. She's there to take salary, for example, yeah? Or some cousins or some, whoever, some people you like, right? The problem is you hired the people you like. You didn't hire people who can do shit. That's the problem, okay?
I see.
So this is the time you got to click the eject button and boom, you got to shoot them out already, okay? So if you want to survive, all right? I'm just giving practical thing, right? You got to do that, right? It's, unless your company is like doing really well, it's like, in the health industry right now, right? You're selling loads and yeah, that's not a problem. But in order to get lean, you got to cut the fat, and sometimes you got to cut some of the muscles. But you cannot cut the bones. Your business have a few bone, the structure, the bone. You understand what I mean? So the business owner is required to have that sort of thinking.
So since you are talking, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the explanation of this, right, is basically for us to understand that in every business, in metaphysics, we call this heaven, earth, and man. Three levels only. So right now, you're looking at these 3 levels. Basically, I just say right, some are the fleshy ones are the fat right, outside looking good, right? Like your branding exercise, for example, you might not need that anymore, right? Like all those posters here and there, you don't need it anymore, can cut already, right? So there are a lot of things you actually don't need, okay? You're only down to the people, the certain core people you need to keep, for instance. Okay?
I see.
So this is for us to understand. Yeah, simple way. I'm just trying to explain layman terms for you guys.
Shall we say that, maybe whatever you don't need to keep, you might just outsource instead of keeping yourself as your fixed cost?
See, I think outsource is a big word for a lot of people, right? But I would say, you know what? If you don't need to do that line of business, don't do it, because
don't do it.
If it costs money to do business, don't do it. Okay, you're like,
Right.
oh, I gotta sell this stuff, but then you gotta go and outsource this and then cost money. Why don't you just sell the
Okay.
things that has a higher margin and then stop selling the
Right.
other 8 that doesn't, right? So if we just come to realization for that, right, suddenly it becomes
Okay.
more profitable, and you only need like 3 fellas out of 50 fellas to actually do the sale. Okay, so sometimes you have to look at this, from an external perspective. I know it sounds like, wow, like, so harsh, so difficult. Well, we are in desperate times. We are in difficult times. You see, the thing is, people talk about strategy all the time. Strategy. All business will talk strategy. Hey, come on now. Strategy is for good times. Now it's called tactics. I ask you this question, you think about it, right? If right now we are on a Titanic, we're on Titanic. You know Titanic, right? Guys here, you all heard the Titanic.
Yes.
Titanic is supposed to travel from London to New York City. Okay,
New York,
so we're traveling, and suddenly Titanic hit iceberg. Everyone knows iceberg. And now the Titanic suddenly sinking. Remember how the scene is in the 1998 movie, is sinking Titanic. Let me ask you this. Is anyone in that moment, any of the passengers at that moment, actually thinking about what they're going to eat when they arrive in New York? No. All their travel plans, gone. All their Michelin star restaurant, gone. What they want to do at that time is, where's the float? Where's the lifeboat? Right not? So in a emergency situation, stop talking about strategy. We got to go with tactics first, right? What is the immediate thing we need to do to survive? Not go and say, wow, you're going to eat what restaurant now, or long-term plan now. Now, not long-term. Survive first. Okay, get to the float. There's some people say, no, I want pink float. Wow, now it's not time to choose pink color or yellow color. You see float, you take first. Okay, so when we look at, that is an analogy for business, right? Right now, in business, we got to look at what are the tactics right now that ensures survival. Survive is already a profit, right? You survive this year, next year, we can talk about thrive. Okay, now if you're already surviving, you can talk about thrive, you can talk about strategy and all that stuff. The problem is I see a lot of people keep emphasizing, oh, you strategy. Please, strategy is when the boat is still sailing before hit iceberg, After hit iceberg, everybody don't talk strategy, they talk survive first.
The tactics, I guess that's what probably for a lot of people. You just kick them out because you don't really need them.
Okay, the line was just breaking off. Now it's okay.
Oh sorry.
Can you repeat
so you
your
were
last
talking
question?
about so you were talking about a different perspective of looking at what metaphysics is about here. Then it actually raises a question now, is that when we talk about when we understand Chinese metaphysics, we talk about feng shui, bazi, all this, right? And when certain individuals or business owners, when they face difficulties, then they may come and look for a feng shui master, for example, right? Come and look for my, look at my area, my office area, and help me to change this, change that, and so that I can enhance my business. At the same time, they also look at whether this person and the boss match or not. For example, if it match, it supports the person, that I will hire you. If not, I won't hire you. For example, even though how capable you are. So what is your thought on this?
I think that is when times are good. Okay.
Right.
You see, feng shui is just a tool. When you're trying to hire someone and look at your space right now, that's for long term. Right now, you are in a crisis. I would change the way that feng shui is applied. I would just look at how you can make your space and drastically turn everyone into a profit center.
Okay.
Right? I would look at enhancing the productivity of your existing crew rather than trying to match your parts to whoever it is in your chart right now, because that's long term. So you need someone who understands business to do your feng shui, because feng shui is just the tool. It's like saying, I know how to do finance, right? So, okay, do you know how to turn the financial information into data that the boss could use, right? Otherwise, he's doing accounting, right? An accountant doesn't make a good businessman or woman, right? And the accountant must take the accounts and turn it into financial intelligence for the business owners to make a decision. So a feng shui practitioner need to understand, if I'm doing feng shui for this business, what does this business need? Do they need compatibility right now? Or do they need to turn their feeble or weak staff into warriors and go out and make some
Right.
sale, right? I would look at profit center first, right? Let's go and make people into a profit center first, and we can worry about that, whether compatible comes later, right? So I would encourage the client, say, you know what, don't worry whether you like them or they like you or not. Compatible, not important. They make you money, you sure like them, right? So let's focus on that first.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
Okay. So I would look at it this way.
Yeah.
So I use I use feng shui in a more business context, as opposed to just saying, oh, there's a wealth corner, let's go put something there. You know, that is that's very mum and pop old style, right? Old style is like, oh yeah, you do your feng shui. So I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's a bit outdated, lah. You got today business very different, you know, right? And now everyone work from home. How you do feng shui, right? So you shouldn't. We should have great home feng shui right now, right? So that when you sit in your house, you see, if you think about that, right? You just imagine this, right? How productive are we on a daily basis, even if you're not working from home? What really happens is human beings, right, are really only that productive is for maximum of 3, maybe 3.5 hours a whole day. If you really think about it, you cannot be like 9 to 5. You're super productive all the time, you know. So if it's just 3 to maximum 4 hours, right? Why don't you just fix one of those spaces in your own home that has the energy to support you to be super creative and really energetic for that 3 to 4 hours, so that you can just be as productive as you are if you're working in the office. Sometimes even in the office, if the energy is not conducive, you are busy running around trying to sort out fires more than you're trying to really contribute to the end result. Okay, so I would think, you know, what you need to do now is to make sure your home is conducive for you to produce.
Right. Okay, great. Welcome everyone, especially those who have just joined us today. Yeah, this evening session we have Dr. Joey Yap to talk to us on the Metaphysics Power, brought to you by UOW Malaysia KDU here. Now we have a question here from Azri Fezal here. Everybody was looking forward to the year 2020. Flying cars and such ideas were being said and imagined. Do you think this is Mother Nature way of saying that you need to take a break from the tech advancement, perhaps?
I have no opinion on this because I don't have a preconceived perspective of how Mother Nature should behave. I like to think so, but it's not up to me because I don't know Mother Nature personally and how she or he would think, all right? So we will first like to see flying cars and all that, but that's just ideally what we want, lah, right? But really, I think ultimately people just want happiness, right? And happiness, if you're happy, whether or not we have flying cars, we'll be all right. So if you think about it, whatever we're doing right now, metaphysics or not, metaphysics is a tool, right? It's not important, the tool. It's like a brand of a shirt, right? It's still a shirt, just all, right? So if you're happy wearing something, right, and you feel good in it, your life will be all right. So if you think about it, right, whether we pursue business, career, we just want to feel pleasant. So we want to feel all right. If you feel okay, life is good, you know. You can have a sip of coffee and everything will be fine, right? But if not, right, you can sit there and you can have a lot of money and stuff, and then you will still be very distraught and unhappy about stuff. Like, people are just saying, oh, when this COVID-19 will be over, you know. The thing is, it will be over one day, okay, when the vaccine is created. And you already know the answer. People told you it's 18 months, right? It's going to be 18 months for the vaccine to be created. I concur with that because that's when 2021, somehow the fear element is reduced. So wait, 18 months, right? So while we're waiting, why don't we feel pleasant internally, right? Why don't we help ourselves become better, learn something new, right? I would say there's some skills that are absolutely necessary regardless of good times or bad times. For example, the ability to write effectively and sell effectively, because right now everyone's going to work from home, and if you want to look for a good job or be able to do a webinar or a seminar, and we don't know how to do this, I think we are missing out on the 21st century. You know? So this is very much in line with metaphysics, fire energy in the future. So since we have time, why don't we do it? We should go learn it, right?
Yeah, might as well take this time, right? Since you have really ample time at home now. We have another question from Zaro Zahimi here. How to unblock my chakras?
I think that they have a lot of exercises through, some do meditation, some do yoga, some use feng shui. Those are all tools, right? Some eat a specific diet to actually change their energy flow, right? I would think is the easiest to do is to control your emotions and thoughts. For beginners,
Okay.
that's the easiest. So if you could just understand and see every time a thought goes through your mind, you see it, like you actually visually see what's going on with that thought, it would allow you to gain awareness that you are actually not your thoughts, and that you can actually adjust the volume, you can adjust the idea. Like very simple, I ask you now not to think about an elephant. Don't think elephant.
We'll be thinking
Don't
about
see the
elephant.
elephant.
Yeah.
Right? You will keep
Yeah.
seeing the elephant. So generally we
Correct.
can control, right, by just saying, I want to look at a lion instead. Right? You can actually
Right.
control the thought, right? So that is energy, heaven luck. So that way allows you to change the so-called chakra. Is just another flow, the description of energy flow. So it starts with that. Okay. So by doing so, over time, the feeling of happiness or pleasure or calmness will come in. Then you know your energy changed already. That's the easiest I can and talk to you, share with you in a short time like this.
Yep. So I think this is your fan, Dato' Boleh Kot Lakot. So he said, since you're a big fan of Naruto, is Naruto accurate with their depiction of chakras?
Chakras is more like I think Indian thing. So in a way, it is. It describes some tech in some of the description, but it's just another form of energy. They borrowed it from the Indian science.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Rachel
It's not
asked,
Japanese
according
science.
to not the Japanese science,
Yeah.
Rachel asked, according to Metaphysics, when will COVID-19 end? Is that a way
2021.
to predict? 2021. Okay, so you
The
got the
fear
answer
of
here.
it ends in 2020. I don't know when exactly the
Right.
virus will die.
But 2021, will it be like beginning, mid, or year end?
Sometime in 2021, or how we
Sometime
know.
now, okay.
You see, I ask you, are people afraid of HIV?
Yes.
I see.
Should.
Did you know that there's
Yeah,
a
but still
vaccine
there.
to control HIV? Can't cure it, can control.
Yep.
When those days Magic Johnson all that had it, big deal, right? After a while, it's still there. But right now, there's no end to HIV. There's no end to Ebola. Ebola is still around, right?
But the virus
So
still there,
SARS, right? Ebola, SARS, they're still around. So tell me, okay, has it ended? So I'm going to tell you now, COVID-19 cannot be ended, but the fear of it can.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. What other questions do we have here? Well, at the same time, as I said just now, we have already asked those questions, right? About different industries. They might be impacted differently itself. How exactly do you think the really tough, difficult industries like, for example, tourism now?
Yeah.
Of course, they are not selling Panadol as of the current situation, right?
Yeah.
What else can these people do then?
I think they can build relationships.
Right.
Right.
So then
It's
the
like
business
that,
objective is different now.
Yeah, business right now it's a survival thing for them. Okay, because now of course you're not. I would love to travel, right? I would love to be able to fly again, but right now the situation don't allow me to do it. It's not that people don't want it, but let me ask you this: will we be able to travel? The answer is yes. Correct.
Okay.
It will happen on. We will travel again. All right. I don't think there's anyone this will say we all is like this forever. We're not going to travel. So the future, we know there's going to be possible to travel. So now, if I'm working in the travel industry, I would focus on that future. When you're ready, we want to be the ones that welcome you. So I want to build a relationship now, right? Because when you're ready, I'm going to be the ones that welcome you right now. I want to be the first in your mind when you, when you can travel again. Okay, right now, let's say right now, I'm not thinking about going to Mykonos, for example, right? But someone from Mykonos is now contacting me, and I'm seeing videos about Mykonos, and wow, it's a beautiful place. I'd love to go there. The moment this lockdown is over, right? The moment I travel, I'm gonna get my whole family down to Mykonos, because they have built a relationship with me right now. Otherwise, my options were what? Tioman Island, right? Or maybe go to PD. But I would not have thought about that. But let's say now
Correct.
that they have built over the next couple of months relationship and trust with me, and they shown me, they introduced the place, the history, and they answer my questions, and I become so interested in it. I may even pay a deposit for this the moment that it is open again.
Right.
Now I
Right.
get some cash flow. You think
So
about it,
perhaps
right?
this is a
I'm
correct.
just telling
So perhaps this is
the future, right?
yeah.
It boils down to one decision: whether or not you believe that we can travel again in future. Of course, the
Right.
answer will be yes, right? Or not, right?
Yeah.
The answer will be yes, man.
Correct.
So, so the question is, when yes comes, will I be your choice?
So it's really a good time now to rebuild the new norm for them, to
So
embrace a new
you see,
future, right?
let's put it the other way around now. When we want to go to a place with our family or some new place, right? What do we normally do?
Yep.
We will search everything about that place. We want to know
Right.
everything about where to eat. We want to be able to see how the rooms are. Now, isn't it a nice time to do all that right now, since there's nothing else to do?
Correct.
We'll do it now, lah. All right? Then you
Very
greatly need, it's time to travel. Okay? It's just that instead of traveling next month, I might push it to, end of the year or early next year. What's the big deal? Right? Not. So
Yep.
eventually, all right, there'll be an opportunity to travel again. Right? This is not going to end. We human beings are resilient. We have proven to be resilient for thousands of years. Otherwise, we wouldn't be
That's
here
very true.
today. So you think we will never travel again? Come on, right? We will. We will find a way. We're gonna find a way. Swim there if we have to, but we will find a way.
That's very true. So thank you very much for everyone to join us this session this evening. We have another 5 more minutes to go, before we will end this session. A couple more questions for Dato perhaps to look into. Which method of meditation works best for you? Do you meditate, Dato?
Just the simple countdown method is the best. I don't personally. I don't do the many long hours, because you get your mind drifting anyway, right? The whole idea is to be able to get your mind to not think about things, not trying to go and search for things and search for answers. Then you're not really meditating. You're trying to, think about things. The whole idea is not to think about things, to stop your thoughts for a while.
Yep.
So you just count down.
Just count down lah. Simple ones, right?
Yeah. Easy.
So there's another question from Kevin Lam here. For those who built their cash flow earlier, should he or she take this opportunity to be greedy when everyone is fear?
Of course. You have the means to do it, right?
Okay.
So if you have people always ask, right, should I invest, should I buy a house and all that, right? They ask questions like that. I said, well, if you got extra cash, if you've done your homework, then this is the time. When else would you like to buy it? When prices are high? Come on, right? So this will be time. But if you have not prepared for this, then of course it's survival first lah. So there's 2 steps, right? Survive or thrive. If you already passed survival stage, then go for thrive.
Right. But will this be a different scenario if, for example, we'll talk about business people who are just simply greedy to get profit from the end users? When the supply is shortage, therefore you simply increase the price to a very unaffordable way for the consumers. Then will this be a good thing to do?
I think you're speaking about ethics, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think if you're selling essential goods and all that, you shouldn't be doing it lah, right?
Right.
Because there are people who need those stuff to live. And personally, I don't feel that it is right to make money off other people's misery. That's the wrong thing to do, right? So if you're selling something else that helps, helps people become better, I don't see anything wrong with making a profit from that. But if it's an essential thing to live, and without that people will just die, then I don't think you should be doing it. It's just not ethical to do that.
Right. Nice saying. So thank you very much, everyone, to attend this evening session on the Metaphysics Power, brought to you by UOW Malaysia KDU here. And Dato', we have a last opportunity for you to have your last few words for everyone, your last advice. And perhaps, how do you think metaphysics thought about the new term of new norm?
I think the new norm is just a different way of us connecting with other people. So those days you see someone, you shake hands, right? Now you see someone, what do you do? Not shaking hands is polite.
Not shaking hands.
So let's just get used to it, right? I was just speaking to my students that day from the Spanish community from USA,
Right.
right? And they say they're in their culture. When they see someone, they will hug and then they will kiss their cheeks and all that. And now they just can't do it anymore, right? And so they have to find a different way to show their love.
I see.
So that's what the new norm is about. It's all about connecting with people. There's a different way of doing that, and I think it's not that difficult. If you're willing to accept the change, it's easier. If you resist the change, it becomes painful.
Right. Wonderful. So thank you everyone for your time this evening here, and thank you so much, Dato, for your time as well to share your thoughts and your advice to everyone on this topic here, yeah, on
Right.
metaphysics power.
Thank you.
Okay. So
All
if
right.
you have any more questions for us later on, you can always leave us a message at UOW Malaysia KDU Instagram. And if any question pertaining directly to Dato Joey Yap, we will try to get his response for you if he has time
You
for
can
it.
go to my Instagram is d at
Oh yeah, you
Joey
can
Yap.
join correct on
My
the
Instagram.
Joey Yap Instagram as well. Yeah, you can contact directly to Dato Joey Yap as well. And of course,
Okay.
remember browse through some of his ebooks. Yeah, might be useful for you. Who knows, right?
Right.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so much,
much.
everyone, for
All
your
right.
time. Thank you, Dato.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.